Good morning. This is BanDana Gramma in her kitchen, and this morning I am going to be cooking. I'm making a vegetable soup two ways. One, a light vegetable soup, so if you're watching your weight, you can keep this handy to bring out several times a day when you're getting hungry and you don't want to eat things that will ruin your plan of eating. And then there's a couple other ingredients you can add for those times where you want a heartier soup. It's pretty hearty with the light way, but there's a few things you can add to make it a really hearty meal with this soup. And I made it 2 weeks ago and got raves, so I decided to do it for you. I'm still one-handed, as you can see, so it's kind of a challenge to do this, but my husband helped a little this morning before he left. The vegetables I couldn't chop, like onions, roll around, and even when I tried to put them on a wadded up towel to cut them, it wouldn't work. So he chopped up the onions for me, and he chopped up the cabbage for me, and he peeled some carrots for me, and the rest I was able to do with my slap chopper, so that wasn't too bad. So yeah, I'm thankful to him that he helped out. So one-handed, have some patience with me. I'm not sure how long this is going to take. I'm going to start it in a pot on the stove to start caramelizing some veggies, and then I'm going to put it in the big crock pot because I'm making a whole bunch. I want to share some of it with my daughter Jen, who has been laid up with back problems, and she's a vegan, so vegetable soup would be good for her. Okay. So here I am, one-handed. That means wash and wear hair. Excuse me. I cannot curl it. I cannot braid it. I cannot. Do you ever try to put a rubber band in a ponytail with one hand? Can't be done. So I have this wash and wear hair for a while until I get used to this hand back. And I can wash my face, but not much else. So there's a clue for you. You'll know when my hand's better when I start having a hairdo again. And you can see I started getting things all prepped. My husband also opened the cans for me. I'm all out of my frozen tomatoes from last year. So what I like to do when I'm making soup or chowders or stews and I'm adding vegetables, I like to get the sweetness out of the vegetables as best I can, and that calls for caramelizing them. So we're going to turn on the heat, and I'm putting a few tablespoons of oil in the pan and letting that come up, and then I'm going to add the carrots because they sweeten as they caramelize, and the onions, which you all know they sweeten as they caramelize. And if you're trying to make a low-calorie meal, you want as much taste as possible. And when you're using tomatoes, especially, you know, this isn't tomato sauce that might have sugar in it. This is just plain crushed tomatoes. The little bit of sugar I am adding comes in the stewed tomatoes I'm going to add. So I want to bring out as much sweetness as I can in these veggies to flavor the soup and counteract the acidity of the tomatoes. So we'll start by putting all the carrots in. Now, I'm making a huge batch. This is about 4 cups of carrots. This is 2 onions that are diced. And also 5 stalks of celery. So that's what I'm starting with. And we'll get these going to caramelize. Now, I don't have part of the soup already made where I can say, by the magic of the video, this is it caramelized. No, this is going to take a little while. But it really pays off in the end in many of your dishes if you take the time to Bring out the sweetness of your veggies before you add the water and the other veggies, especially with onions and carrots. Now, usually it's, I have peppers here that I'm going to add too, but they'll go in a little later. I've got a nice heavy spoon here to move around these veggies, because if it's a non-dominant hand, I need the spoon to be as strong as possible because I can't push it that easily. Alright, for the sake of the video, we're going to call these done as far as sweetening them, caramelizing. They probably need a bit more time. Now I'm going to add peppers. This is half of 3 peppers. I have a yellow, red, and orange. If I had a green, I would have put it in there, but I'm out of my green. So in go the peppers. Oh, I think I hear my husband coming home. He's bringing me more broccoli because I didn't have quite enough. This makes a beautiful soup. All the colors in there, it's gorgeous. So we got the peppers in. Now I'm also putting in cauliflower. This is 1 medium cauliflower that I've chopped up. Again, very low in calories. It helps make the soup thicker too. And they cook down quite a bit.
Onions.
Did you see my note on the door?
No.
I'm live streaming. Okay, you can come in, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know. It was the whole 8 by 10 sheet of paper, babe. Just to warn you. Yes, onions. I'm making that veggie soup again. Okay, and in goes the broccoli. And my husband just brought me home some more, I think. Yep, he did. We'll get that chopped up and put in later. So all the veggies I'm choosing here are quite low in calories, but very flavorful. I also have cabbage. If I hit this, it should show better. Oh, anyway, I got a whole bowl of cabbage. This is 1 head of cabbage. I may or may not put it all in. And I'm going to be transporting it all to my larger crock pot anyway. And then putting all the water in. And the tomato juice, or crushed tomatoes. Alright, so you get the gist of it. You start with your veggies that you want to caramelize, and you stir them until they're caramelized, and then you can add all the other veggies. I'm now going to transfer to my crock pot. So here's my big crock pot. And being handicapped, I don't think I can pick up this pot. So I'm going to scoop it. Isn't that pretty? All those colors. And I don't like to cook it down so much that they lose all their shape, because there's something very satisfying in eating soup and having some bite to it rather than all mushy veggies. So I try not to overdo the cooking. So pretty. Okay, getting close. Let's see if I can dump the rest. If you could not use the Netflix or the movies right now, it would help with my live stream, huh? But you can put a movie on with the VCR or something. Okay, there they are. And now I'll add some more of the cabbage. Even this is going to be overflowing. I'm adding 3 cans of crushed tomatoes. These I get from Aldi. I like them. I use this in place of tomato sauce too. Just add seasonings to it. This is really full. And I still have to put some water in. And the seasonings. Okay, so the rest of that. This may turn out to be a condensed soup that I add water to at the time of fixing, because this pot just might not be big enough. But that was a couple of cups of water there. And of course the veggies, as they cook, they'll give off their own juices, further flavoring the soup. Yeah, I think I'm going to be dividing this up between my stock pot and my crock pot so I can make a huge batch. Cooking on the fly here, that's what happens with a live stream. Okay, then let's do that. Let's use both pots. That way I can get it all cooking at the same time, one on the stove and one in the crock pot, and I'll be able to make a giant batch to share with my daughter and keep a lot on hand for all week. So as I'm trying to be good eating, I'll have this low-cal soup to go to. All right. The filter on my water in the house needs replacing, so I'm using bottled water until I can get my filter replaced. Okay, that's about half a gallon. That's a quart. I'd already put in a couple of cups. Half a gallon is 2 quarts. Yeah. Okay, now I'm adding home canned beans. So I'm putting in a pint each. These two are a low-cal, kind of a free veg if you do Weight Watchers or something similar. I probably should have cut them up, but I didn't. Okay, get those in there. It's a little hard to cut with my hand. And I should have browned up these garlic, but in they go. I've got 3 garlic here that I'll divide among the 2 pots. 3 cloves of chopped garlic. When you do it, if you try this, go ahead and brown these up with the veggies. Put them in after the carrots and onions because you don't want them to burn. They get bitter when they burn, garlic does. All right. Now I can add more cabbage. I know. It's at 12:30, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm all ready, honey. I just need to get this done, and I don't have to do anything before I go. We don't have to leave till noon. Okay. Now for the seasonings. Poultry seasoning. Even though I'm not using any meat, I like some poultry seasoning in this. My favorite is this Bell's, but you can use any kind of poultry seasoning you like. I'm going to put a teaspoon in each. And to give it a little zing, but you don't really taste it. I mean, it's not like you're going to burn your mouth or anything. Hot crushed red pepper flakes. I like to put a few shakes of those in too, to just give it a little zing and interest. You could use hot sauce if you like. Okay, now I have Italian seasoning. I'm going to put a teaspoon in each. And salt. This one's kind of wide to grab, so let me do it on the counter. I'm going to add a tablespoon of salt in each one. That's a lot of veggies. And if it thickens up, I may end up adding more liquid to it. Of course, as it cooks down, the salt does intensify, so you may need to add more liquid if it tastes too salty after it cooks down a little. All right, there we go. Put all that in there. And now we put salt in. You can't forget the pepper. So I've got a shaker of pepper here. Where did I put my teaspoon? I've hid my teaspoon on myself. All right, I'll just use a regular. This'll do. All right, I'm going to put a half a teaspoon of pepper in. Of course, you always cook to taste. And that doesn't mean because you put a teaspoon in one other time, something else, you put a teaspoon in this time. It means as you cook it, you continually taste it. So, you know, as this cooks down and maybe a couple hours later when I come back to check on it, I'll be tasting this. And if it needs more salt, if it needs more pepper, if it needs a little more seasoning, needs some more tomato sauce or water, that's the time to make the adjustments. Yeah, where are my fairies when I need them? They've been MIA. All right, let me look around the counter, make sure I put all, oh, nope, forgot something. My bay leaves. Right, I would put 2 bay leaves in each pot. 2 good-sized bay leaves. Bay leaves add a lot of flavor, especially when you get them all stirred in as it's cooking. Keep stirring it to spread, whoops, messy. Spread the flavor around. Yeah, I think I'm going to need more water because this is, I think, an 8-quart, and this is probably 6 quarts. And they're going to cook down. Okay, now that's the basic soup. That's the basic low-calorie, flavorful soup, especially as you let it cook down and let all the flavors merge and mingle and get happy. And I'm going to take the camera over to the table and see if I can get my chat up and tell you about what else to add to make it a hearty soup. Now, to make the soup heartier, if you want more than just a light soup, I love this stuff in it. This is ditalini pasta, and it's shaped like, you've seen this in soups before. See, they're little tiny tubes like that. They cook up really nice in soup. Well, maybe it's going to work. Now the other thing I'm going to put in, now see what I'm doing, I'm leaving this soup as it is, and then if I want a heartier soup, I'll take a bowl and I'm going to cook these up and keep them in the fridge. And then I can add them to my soup bowl as I serve it. 17 watching now. Okay, I think I'm getting it. And the other thing I add to make it heartier, I forgot I took the lid off, is beans. These are great northern beans that I canned myself, and I like those a lot in a soup. So it's kind of like a minestrone between the pasta and the beans and then all the veggies. And another thing you can add, there's everybody. I see you. Yay. Okay, I'll go through the chat after I finish this, after I finish telling you. Oh, lots of chat. Nice. Okay. Another thing you can add. Now this is a veggie, but it isn't the lower calorie veggie. So I like to add peas into my soup when I'm serving it up as a heartier soup. And of course, you can also throw in some corn. So those are 4 things you can add to make this a really hearty soup if you prefer. And you could always put ground meat in it too. You could always put ground burger, or a lot of times I'll put a ground turkey in it. So there we go. We got the ditalini and the beans and the peas and the corn. They all make it heartier, but you don't want them in there if you just want a go-to soup all day long to try to stave off your hunger while you're watching your weight, because they're not going to be helpful for that. All right, now let's see if we got some questions I can answer. All right, looks like I can't get to the very top. I see Tessie. Hey, Tessie. Tessie's telling Sheila she's from PA. Okay, very pretty BanDana. Oh, the soup, yes. I love the look of this soup. Tessie, you had to evacuate. Oh, I got to hear that story. Wow. A tornado? Oh, my. Well, I'm glad all is well. Yes, Tessie, I'm glad you're safe and sound, too. Good-looking cabbage. I can almost smell it. Hi, Isabel. It is a little hard one-handed, but like I said, my husband helped me this morning by getting the things chopped that I couldn't do. Yeah, I don't know, Patricia, I don't know who you're talking to, Tessie or me, but you're right, we both feel that way, that you make do with what you have, and if you don't have it, you don't use it. All the extra work, I feel so bad. I'm thankful I can do as much as I'm doing with one hand. I really am. I have my second physical therapy at 12:30. That's what my husband was saying to me. He showed me his watch, like, do you know what time it is? But, you know, he probably thinks I don't look like I'm ready to go because I usually have my hair done and my makeup on. But that ain't happening. I'm ready to go. It looks so delicious. Thank you, Laura. Work one day and eat for several. Good thinking. Yes, we do that too. So honored to have you, Linda. Tessie says, aw. Yeah, I would be very sad. You're saying you're admiring my fortitude, Suburban. I just would not be happy if I couldn't do anything, so I'm so thankful. Yesterday I did plant some plants, and I weeded that whole circular garden around my fruit trees with one hand, and it was totally covered with weeds. I mean, you couldn't even tell I had made the garden there. So, but I did it, and I'm really glad I could. This will freeze beautifully. Yes, Allison, I think it will. I would love to can it. I was thinking about canning it, but I'm not sure with the cauliflower and the broccoli if it would just be so mushy after canning that it wouldn't taste as good. But of course they do can cream of broccoli soup and things like that. It probably wouldn't be the same, but it might still be good. Let's see. Crazy Raven, Nifty Thrifty. All my friends are here. Yeah, my husband cut the veggies up into manageable sizes for me, and then I used my slap chopper thing to make them diced. That was easy. You can do that with one hand. Where's the meat? Yeah. Sometimes my husband will say that, but if it's really tasty, he doesn't always miss it. Tessie, I see them talking about your bologna meal. We find that, is it Seltzer's Sweet Lebanon bologna? We find that at Aldi's now. I used to only get it at the fancy markets, but Dolphin Man. Yeah, you can lend me a hand, Dolphin Man. Funny guy. Yeah. I love my crock pot too. It really helps. North Dakota Pink, hello, hun. Glad to have you here. I got another nice card from you. Thank you so much. I think that makes 3. You're just so sweet to me to say hello and send a birthday card. That was so sweet. You asked me when my birthday was. It's the 25th. So you got it in time. It's not here yet. That's right. Ground beef would make pasta. I don't know how to say that. Fagioli, pasta fagioli, pasta fagioli. I'm not Italian. Yep, you can throw meat in there if you like. Use up your leftovers. Okay, now, you're asking how my hand is. It's really doing quite well. I have very little pain. I have to do these exercises where I take my good hand and I bend all the fingers down all the way, including crooking the joint right here so I can get this bent in as close to the palm as possible. That's hard and that hurts. And when I'll do it like every couple of hours, 10 repetitions. And by the time I'm done with the repetitions, I got it down there and it's at the palm, and I hold it like 30 seconds and then pop it back up, and then hold it 30 seconds and pop it back up. But the next time I go to try and do it, it's like back to square one again. I can't well, it's really just the ring finger. I can't get that ring finger like any more than that. And I have to keep working it and working it and working it and getting it down. And I'm determined to do it because they told me the progress I make passively now will be about the extent of the progress I'll get when I start firing up the muscles on this to try and do it on my own. So I'm determined to make that finger bend and hold it, but they're still saying that I cannot use the muscles because the tendon repair, where they were sewing the tendon back together and attaching it back to the muscle, that it has to heal first before I use the muscle, or I could undo the repair. So That's true, Michelle. Maybe we could add the broccoli at the end of the soup so it wouldn't get so soggy. That's probably a good idea. What I'd like to do, because I do like to, I'm not an expert canner. The things I can, I'm confident in because I do a lot of research and I've had good results. But I'm not very adventurous to go outside the guidelines yet. So I'd want to look up a lot of broccoli canning videos to really familiarize myself with what's suggested before I try that. Michelle, I was finally able to join your live stream. Yay! Did you see the announcement? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm shaking the table. Did you see the announcement earlier? Or did you just kind of happen upon it as it was going? Because I tried to announce it a little bit ahead. Oh yeah, you can can the soup before you add the broccoli, and then just add the broccoli when you serve it if you want it. That's true, you could do it that way too. Wow. I don't know what the wow is for, but Grandma, even with just one hand, you still accomplished twice as much as most of us. What a hard worker. I try. You know, results make me happy. I'm seeing something else pop up there. Oh. I was afraid it was an earthquake. No, it was me shaking my table. And my camera on the tripod, it's kind of wobbly, so even when I walk with it, it shakes a little. It's not good when I'm out walking around the yard. No, you happened upon it. Okay. Well, I don't know, Michelle. I think you're a subscriber. I'm not sure. Maybe if you have made sure you click that bell next to my name, then when I put up an announcement, maybe you'd get it sooner. I don't know. YouTube's so strange. It seems like no matter what you do, you don't always get the results you want. Sounds like the hand was very complicated on mending it. Oh, yeah, that was true. Because I sliced right to the bone through that finger. I mean, if that bone wasn't there, I would have lost my finger. It was really hard when I threw that. For those who don't know, I had a coffee carafe that had broken, and I was going to throw it away into my trash receptacle here, my kitchen bin. And it was an empty bin with a plastic trash bag in it. And I thought, well, if I throw it in there with that hunk cut out of the lip of it, then the trash bin might get cut if they, reach in and get that bag. So I thought if I throw it hard to the bottom of the bin, it will smash, and then I can wrap it up in the plastic all by itself, and it'd be padded and nobody would get hurt. Well, you see how that worked out. My uncoordination meant when I took that coffee carafe and I went hard like that, I actually hit the top of the bin and the thing smashed in my hand. It could have been so much worse. It cut one finger, but it cut it really bad to the bone, so that both tendons were severed. The one that does the top part and the one that does this part of the joints that bend. So all these other fingers would bend, but this one stuck straight up and wouldn't bend at all. It was totally useless. And it was kind of floppy because the tendons were gone. So, yeah, I had to go have surgery to have that reattached. And now it's weeks and weeks of not using it until they say it's attached enough where I can start firing up the muscles again. So, from the Big Family Homestead Get-Together, I said a nice hello to you on Going Baddie's video. Did you? Aw, thank you, Dolphin Man. Hello from Florida. Hike with Mike. Hello. Mike hiking around Florida. Okay, well, let me see what time it is. 11:45. Yeah, I need to get going. I just wanted to show me throwing together that soup and letting you know how I'm going to change it to make it hearty. And later, when I upload this live stream as a video, I'll show the finished product and show it both ways, and it'll be a more complete video then. I got 24 watching. I've got 18 thumbs up. Thank you so much. That helps a lot. I missed your soup, mate. My sister! This is the first time I've ever seen my sister on here. Well, that's my sister Jody. Jody, you're just going to have to watch the video when it goes up later this afternoon. You'll see it then. but I think it went pretty well. Okay, folks, you want my soup pot. Okay. Baker Mom, I want your soup pot. You like my crock pot? Hi, sister Allison, saying hi to you, Jody. God's joy to you and your husband. Safe driving there and back. Thank you all for coming by. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Check this out in a bit later, and I'll have it all done, and you'll see the finished product. Oh, and don't forget to check out my giveaway video. I've got a 2,000 subscriber giveaway video, and I'm giving away a really nice prize, one of those cedar mops and buckets that you see me use in my videos where I pump the little step and it spins out the mop and everything. I'm going to be giving one of those away when I hit 2,000 subscribers. Look for that video. It gives all the details there. Bye, all. Well, it's been a couple of hours. The soup is done, and I've got both versions to show you, the light version and the hearty version. So, let me turn the camera. All right, the crock pot is holding the light version. And here you see all the veggies. So there's the soup. That's the light version with nothing extra, just all veggies and a good broth. And the other version is the hearty version. And I did indeed add the ditalini pasta, and I added corn and peas and beans. So this is a nice hearty soup. There, you see that ditalini pasta, how it puffed right up, and all the corn in there. And like I said before, you could even add meat to this, and that'd be a meal in itself for sure. This is a meal in itself because pasta and veggies and beans has complete protein. You don't need meat for complete protein when you have the pasta and veggies and beans. They have all the amino acids needed to make complete protein. And there's a close-up view of that soup. Now, look good? It was good. Husband approved too. So those were the light and hearty versions of my vegetable soup that I did on live stream today. And I will probably include them in a cookbook I'm working on. Tara from Living on a Dime has talked to me, encouraged me to go ahead and write a cookbook and put my recipes in it. So I'm attempting to do that, and I'll let you all know how it's taking shape and when it's ready. But yeah, I think it might be a good idea. I have a lot of recipes from my mom and things I've made up, and I've had 7 kids and living on a shoestring. During that time, I've learned a lot about cooking for a large family and how to save a lot of money too. So I think I have some good tips. Contact information is down in the description. And again, remember to check out my 2,000 subscriber giveaway video because there's a really nice prize being given away then. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.